sweet dear magical friends. Welcome to another reading with me, Natalie, spelled Natalee, as I remote view further into your download and we pull a tarot. Tuning into your energies, first of all, let me put my focus on. So I focused on Saturn retrograde. So this is going to be your remotely viewed psychic tarot reading, tuning into this longer Saturn retrograde over the next few months. And tuning into that, really funny, when I years ago first sort of started experimenting with tuning into planetary energies, I would actually listen to like the planet sounds on YouTube. So she's showing me that, so I'm just the messenger. I just do as I'm told. So I just wanted to, I guess that's for someone. And I didn't do that with this. I'm just focusing on Saturn retrograde for you guys. And she showed me this book of Grimm fairy tales. And I thought, okay, I love everything German. And so I went a little bit deeper, and she showed me this like darkly enchanted forest and like a figure going in. So this retrograde has us going into a dark forest at night, but it's magical, it's enchanted. So let's go ahead and see what this means. Tell us more about this. Speaking very clearly, Four of Wands. We're going to open all of this up with clarification. Four of Wands is happiness. It's a celebration. There may be someone's birthday party. You could be throwing someone a party at home. There could just be a lot happening, a lot of good things happening from the home. Maybe some of you work from home or you have your home-based business. And there's just a lot of, I'm just getting life, a lot of love, a lot of smiles and laughs and excitement. And this is so funny. So I'm a Cancer rising, so I collect junk, essentially. Like I mean, what I say is that if you have multiples, then it's a collection. It's not junk if it's not like one-off. But she's showing me like all of these little doodads and things. So this might even be, I don't know, but it's like there's a lot of little things. So this could be like party favors, or could be, you know, like treat bags or gift bags or something. So we'll open that up in a little bit. This came right over it too, crossing it, the Five of Cups. So this may be a come down. This Saturn retrograde could have a little bit of a come down energy where you may still need to process some difficult emotional experiences. Pain, you know, she's drawing my attention to the water under the bridge in this pictogram here. You can see that there's like literally water under the bridge. So this may not be like a fresh wound. There could be maybe things aggravating it or bringing it up again, or, you know, something like that. But the wound itself is a bit of an old wound. She's showing me the bleeding tree from Sleepy Hollow. Like that. I saw that movie in theaters, and I don't think I was old enough to see that movie in theaters, and it really, all of Tim Burton just impressed on my subconscious and my psychology, like in such a significant way. So actually she's given me so much. This is a lot. So for instance, what I do with psychokinesis, and I write telekinesis on the videos because that's how people will find me. What you're doing is you're actually like holding your subconscious. So some people, when they're training to do this or trying to do this, they'll break down crying, and it'll be like, so I'm kind of getting this, like, I don't know if it's like a trigger, or if there's something that reminds you of something, or someone even calls you, or something that's like, you know what I'm saying? Something might just really like aggravate your subconscious mind. So you may be going through a little bit of a dark forest of your subconscious mind, but, all right, let's keep going. What else? What else? But it's okay. You're going to be okay. You already are okay. First of all, you're already okay. It's okay. So be patient with yourself as you continue to process things. Just don't get like stuck in a loop of healing. Okay. There's like I don't ever want you to feel that healing is a lifestyle. Let me put it that way. Healing is a lifestyle, just like living a magical life is a lifestyle. And you don't want to get caught up in the past that siphons your vital life force away from your present moment. And there's something to celebrate. Like there's something happy and beautiful and fun and happening. You know, it's on. It's all there, you know, right in front of you. So, you know, hopefully we'll open this up, but hopefully this chariot energy kind of like brings you through, brings you forward. You know, this forest, this enchanted forest that she's showing me, it's thick and dense. Like you can see where the forest starts, but it's like its own big living organism. It's like alive. I mean, it is alive, but it's very magically alive as well. So, you know, change is the only constant. Let these energies kind of go through you and go through your life without feeling like you need to, you know, glom onto any one thing, good or bad. So don't try to hold on to, you know, this is why I tell you guys, be as happy as you possibly can be for as long as you possibly can. Like savor it up, because change is the only constant. And we have to, that's the whole point of being here, is to go through these experiences. And you know what I say about ultimately becoming masters of our reality and all these sorts of things. Your other three poppers, excusez-moi. We have the Magician, the Devil, and the Two of Pentacles. Just as I was saying that, just as I was talking of like cutting myself off about like, oh yes, you know, you guys, I'm sure might be a little tired of me preaching about, you know, self-mastery and whatnot, but it's literally like what this is. This is, and guys, literally I'm passionate about it because I don't like feeling compulsive energy. I don't like channeling it. I don't like to see it and feel it coming up in myself. So, you know, it goes back to, you can't have who I am, you know? So it's like, there's something here that it might be depression. She's showing me a bed, and she's showing me oversleeping, and she's showing me exhaustion. So if you're sleeping a lot and you're exhausted and you don't know why, you need a reading with me. That's a red flag. But that's what she's showing me. She's showing me a lot of sleeping and tired still, like still tired, sleeping a lot. So be careful there. This could be something that you're working on for this Saturn retrograde. Saturn rules depression. Saturn rules, now with Saturn retrograde, it should, from the astrological perspective, be easier. Things should get easier. But if you have not, you know, passed the grade of the lessons while Saturn was direct, then you're going to have to go back and retake the tests in the retrograde, and it's not going to be as like, oh, it's getting easier now that Saturn's retrograde. So this for some of you, this could be like impulse spending, materialism, and like seeking validation from things that are outside of yourself instead of being the power, you know, instead of it coming from within. So we're going to open that up too. Let's get one more position for you guys. Thank you. Yay, congratulations, the Wheel of Fortune. See, change is the only constant. That's why, even when, so just like I don't take any negativity or insults or criticisms, I take constructive criticism. I'm very, very interested in that, but like all the BS criticism, it doesn't touch me, it doesn't penetrate me. And the same thing is true for success and for compliments and for praise. That doesn't touch me. I don't let that really like penetrate and like get to me. Both of those things I treat very, very equally, because I understand that there's the rising and the fall. Sometimes I'm on the way down the Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes I'm on the way up the Wheel of Fortune, and I'm not taking any of it personally. So you cannot, you know, that this is the way to stay the Sphinx at the very top of the wheel, who is always there at the very top. That's how you stay with equanimity, staying equanimous, you know, with these rising and fallings of things. So that is going to be very important, very, very important to maintain your own stillness. And that's going to look and feel different for every single one of us. We're all having our own experience. And so whatever that feels like for you, that's really what you want to get used to. I know what that feels like for me, but it's not going to help if it looks and feels different, you know, for someone else. I don't want you to feel like that's, you only take other people as like inspiration, but not to copy and paste any you know, specific thing. Because I'm getting a lot of individualism with this Wheel of Fortune, to be honest. There's something about a change in circumstance or a change over these next few months of this retrograde where it's like this loud, unique, I don't know if it's like a voice, maybe you're a singer, because she's typing it out, voice. So some of you might be singers, or I don't know, do poets recite their poetry anymore? I don't know, maybe you're using your voice, or maybe there's something about like the voice or something, but it's very, very unique, very individual, and there's something changing with it. Change in circumstance. What's the bottom? Oh, the Empress. Very nice. The Empress, bottom of the deck, with the Moon and the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Speaking of changing circumstances, the Moon is all about the fluctuations. And in fact, what I like to say when we talk about the pictogram is making your way through the dark with all the shadows, and, you know, not knowing what's around the bend, and kind of spooking yourself out with the moonlight and the glimmers and all these things. And so this is sort of you in the enchanted forest, where you don't want to scare yourself by what could just be nothing. You know, it's your own worst fears is as bad as it gets. This is your own, again, the subconscious. So what I love about the Moon energy is that, number one, it's very cyclical. So you have some double cyclical energies here. And it's highly creative. So you can tap into your subconscious. I mean, the way I said it a moment ago is like when you're doing psychokinesis and telekinesis, you're actually like handling your you're actually like handling your subconscious. And I got that from another practitioner, another person that does this kind of thing, and the way they said it, I thought, oh my God, that is brilliant. That is absolutely phenomenally brilliant. So, you know, there's a way to mine your subconscious for gold, or for, I don't know, an opportunity could be coming up for you over these next few months. You could have a really financially lucrative summer, and it could be through the, how would I put this? Like she's showing me like this river, but it's dark. Thank you. It's through, what's that? Panning for gold. When you're sifting, it's like that. So you're like sifting through this dark river, and then you bring up your pan, and you've got, you know, these little glimmers, these little sparklies, and they're beautiful. They're gems. So, you know, it's like the subconscious is that go-between between the conscious mind and the unconscious, where everything is, every single moment of your life. Things you do not remember, the subconscious is protecting you from things that difficult to cope with. So, you know, there's gold there just as much as there is everything else there. All the sediment and all the creepy crawlies and all that stuff. So it looks like there's like a timing issue that's going on that will come together for you, whether that's, for some of you it's a pregnancy, for some of you it's a financial opportunity, for some of you it is a creative, brilliant idea for something that you're very, very excited about that could have something to do with a financial opportunity later on down the line. For some of you, that's even like an important offer that you're making to someone, you know, kind of this it's interesting. She's showing me like this, like how I've been saying it, like holding your subconscious, like, you know, working with your own subconscious content. and like giving that to someone, or you know, gifting it to someone. That's really weird. I don't know what that means for you. This is, I'm just the messenger. I just do as I'm told. But it's like this, I don't know, but it is actually something kind of like tangible. There's something physical here. And all right, that's for someone. Let's go ahead and start opening this up. Tell us about the Four of Wands. I'm getting such honestly beautiful, abundant, happy energy. You could be, maybe there's a new baby you bring home. Maybe there's a party. Maybe there's, you know, new people. Maybe there's something. What is this? Four of Wands, please. It's fine. Thank you. Queen of Cups. I love this energy. So it's a person that is making this home so like warm. Okay, here's the thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, this is the emotional tone of the home. The emotional, you, if you live alone, you're the Queen of Cups, and you set the emotional tone of the room, of the home. Whenever people come over, whenever anything's happening there, everyone takes the cue from you. So take that idea. This is very, very, very strong about taking the ownership of setting the emotional tone. So for us feminine dominant people, for instance, we're in a relationship. We set the emotional tone of that relationship. And I say emotional, but it's really spiritual. The spiritual tone. And it is a very great responsibility. It's a leadership position. Okay, this is like you're the supervisor, you're the manager, and it's really important. How many times have everyone in the household walked on eggshells around the person who is in a fit of rage, or chronically depressed, or scared and confused, or you know, whatever it happens to be. So there's this very strong emphasis on you or someone else in your life setting the emotional tone of the physical dwelling or the physical workplace, however this is applying for you over this Saturn retrograde. It looks very positive. It looks like if you are hiring someone and you bring them in and they set the emotional tone, the spiritual tone of the room to be happy, prosperous, fertile, fecund, creative, entrepreneurial, even, how would I put this? I'm getting a lot of physicality. So I don't know if this is like the rough housing, but like really playful, or if this is like tag with the children. I don't know, but this is, it's very tactile, and it's like emotionally potent. Very emotionally potent. So it's like keeping the vibes not just high, but keeping the vibes safe and taking the lead. So that includes alchemizing conflict into resolution. Okay, I remember she's showing me this, my kitchen gets really just filled with sunlight, and it's just really, really beautiful. And I had the girls over, they stayed the night. They were, oh my gosh, how old were they? They were like very, very young, maybe like young tweens or something, and served them the spread, the breakfast spread. So I was the Queen of Cups in this situation. I love entertaining. I love welcoming people in my home, and I just love all that. And I'm a Cancer rising. And, you know, one of them spilled like a full glass of, I don't know if it was juice or if it was water. I like to have a lot of beverages, especially in the morning. So I will serve you, if you come over to mi casa, you're going to get like water and juice and coffee. It's like a whole thing. So I think it was something like that. And, you know, of course she felt really like, oh, you know, but I had this beautiful discussion with them, and I really went into that, you know, my emotional tone did not change at all throughout that entire sequence of moments. You know, I didn't have like a reaction. It wasn't that eggshell, like, oh my God, what the reaction is. No, it was so simple, and it was like a seamless, you know, okay, I'm going to clean it up. It's going to, and then I sort of talked them through it, that that's not what would spoil the moment. Spoiling the moment would be getting mad and, you know, I don't know, yammering on about something, or, you know, that is what spoils, that breaks the peace. That is what sets a bad tone. bad spiritual tone. And I told him, I said, I only have you guys for a few more hours and I have to drop you off. And I want, you know, I want this time to be absolutely precious and sweet and for us to feel good. Everything here is replaceable. Nothing in this apartment is worth more than you or worth more than the moments that I have with you. You know, it's okay. It's all right. We got more water. There's more juice. There's more. It's all good, you know. So it's very much just giving so much space and love. You know, it's just about the heart. A good Queen of Cups knows that. Good King of Cups will do that. Can be opening up that heart space and saying like, no, it's that none of this matters. None of this matters. This doesn't mean anything. None of this means anything. You know, so beautiful person, whoever this is. This is like it. This should be you. This is their first position. So if you, throughout this summer, throughout this Saturn retrograde, when you find yourself in the dark forest, and there's a moment and you're freaking out, be that person to yourself. Set the spiritual tone for whatever situation you're in. That's alchemization. You know, immediately it was like panic. They looked at me like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What is she going to do? You know? So that was the moment. That's your moment to shine and set that tone the right way. Doesn't matter if it's at home. It could even be at the workplace and your coworkers or your employees or your family. And it's the same thing. Let's take a look at the Five of Cups. Five of Wands, to clarify the Five of Cups. So someone here, it looks like there is someone that really tries hard to create a really positive environment, whether that's at home, or even if it's at a party, or if it's at, you know, school, or, you know, in a classroom, in the workspace. There's that person. Maybe it's you. There's someone else here. They're not in that space. They're not. Oh, and I have to take it because it's at the bottom of the deck and you have it here, the Ace of Pentacles. Oh boy, though. Oh boy, because it connects us to this Empress. Okay, so it could be another feminine person, another feminine dominant energy even, going through a form of depression or unable to, or just having difficulty, not unable to, having difficulty alchemizing internal conflict, possibly about a past loss, grievance, maybe betrayal, but I'm not really getting that. This is more just sadness. And I feel like this... I'm getting that someone regrets saying something to them. She showed me, okay, so when I was saying about giving the subconscious into the other person, that's what this is. This is almost like someone was honest with someone, but being honest with them just depressed them and sent them spiraling into like it's almost like they can't cope with it, or they're having some difficulty coping with something that was said or admitted or conveyed or expressed. But why is it an Ace of Pentacles? But that's it. That's like the thing. Someone's this is like good news though. So it's almost like unless it's trying to make up for something from the past, or trying to make up for something that was admitted to or said or done, or you know what I'm saying? There could be just mixed feelings surrounding like a wonderful opportunity, or mixed feelings surrounding an idea or a plan or an offer or an invitation. Very mixed feelings. Someone is definitely struggling with how they feel about it. Okay. If this is you, I would say to focus on the two cups that are still standing. Whatever you put your focus on, and you can work with me one-on-one if you are very interested or even a little bit interested in doing this energy work stuff. But whatever you put your focus on, that is what grows. You have no idea how powerful your focus is. You have no idea. You have no idea. And I'm hoping that me saying it over and over conveys at least a percentage, 0.05% of how important it actually is to inspire you or motivate you to try. Just try. Try to change your perspective. Try to change your focus. Try to steer your thoughts away. Guys, this level of self-mastery that I'm at now took my entire life in the making. Okay, it takes a lot of trying. Failure is the most important part of success at anything. It's the effort that you put in. It's trying really, really hard and not stopping. That's all. If you need a break, take a break. You know, don't feel like you have to just like drive yourself super hard, but don't ever like stop. You know, take a break, come back to it. Someone's oversleeping. You're sleeping too much. Take a look at the Chariot, please. Ooh, thank you. Okay. We've got the Ten of Wands and Temperance. So, wonderful news. You're about to be relieved of some kind of burden that you've been carrying, whether that's a burden of secrecy, burden of responsibility, burden of stuff you have to do, decisions you have to make, you know, all of that stuff. All this stuff. It's about to regulate itself. You may actually leave something, like put something down in order to do something that kind of fills you with like passion. The Ten of Wands is like having too many passions, or, you know, the passion that grew into some burden or something like that. So there's some kind of, it gets assuaged, it gets balanced out, it gets, you know, it finds its own chemistry. And it can be alchemized into something that you're very, very excited to move forward on. This is also kind of, she's showing me the finish line. And it's weird that she's showing it to me like it's part of this dark forest. So over these next few months, it will be this longer process of like having finished something, finishing something, and this peaceful resolution with it. So even if it's like a personal problem, it might take a few months to like balance yourself out spiritually, but it's worth it. You're not going to remember this, you know, the summer of suffering, you know, 30 years from now when you're been enjoying the results of that, the fruits of that for 30 years. That's one of the little ways you can use Saturn and time. I remember telling my sister in the car, we would be just starting out driving to the pool, and we would be having like a drive ahead of us, and I told her, I said, forget about it immediately. Let's think of, and I would paint this story because I'm a storyteller, and I would tell her a story to get her mind off of it. And because I told her, I said, before you know it, we're going to be there, and it'll be like we just time traveled. But then I immediately pull her into a big story, and I love telling stories to my little sister. And so, you know, and then I would wait until we were like in the middle of a pool activity, like that we've been playing for a while already, and you know, and we had snacks already, and we did all the things. Then I would remind her. Then I would say, hey, remember when we just sat in the hot car, just put the seatbelt on, and we're so thirsty? And I painted the picture real vivid for her all over again. I said, man, don't you remember wishing that we would just be at the pool already? Don't you remember that? And look, now we're here. Now we're at the pool, and like we've been having fun. And then she has huge brown eyes. Like, you think I have big brown eyes? Her eyes are like a chameleon's, where it's like they go all these places. Anyway, so, but you know, her eyes would get real big, and you know, she'd go, yeah, Natalie, oh my God, you know. But to her, it felt like the time travel, you know, like that time travel experience. I'm like a sci-fi person, so I think sci-fi is a lifestyle. So, you know, have that approach to whatever you're bearing this summer of Saturn. You know, it's going to be well worth it in the end. Promise. Let's take a look at the Magician, the Devil, and the Two of Pentacles, please. Thank you. I get that from my father. He's a Virgo. He's a great storyteller. High Priestess. Very, very spiritual. Very, very spiritual. This is like spiritual subconscious strength here. She showed me this thing in the forest. All right, so you're going to have to stare down a few demons. We all pick our poison. We all pick our poison. This was so weird that I saw, like in the AA like community, is that, you know, they were like a lot of this was materialism and a lot of judgmentalism, a lot of judginess. And being a Capricorn adult child, I remember thinking, like, aren't you all alcoholics? Like, aren't you all, like, you know, like, why are you talking about these people behind their backs? And why are you so, you know? And maybe they didn't drink, but they chose other things, you know, codependent relationships, cigarettes, shopping, spending money, judging others, over-focusing, hyper-focusing on what other people were doing, hyper-focusing on what other people were saying, hyper-focusing on like all this other stuff. So I'm going to say a word to the wise, just be a little bit cautious that you don't just trade one thing for another thing, you know, and just sort of recognize that we do all pick our poison, you know. Maybe it's not, you know, I don't like drugs and alcohol, that's not my thing, but it's other things that I get. One thing is, like, I get so wrapped up in a project or something that I just, like, nothing else exists for me, and it's not how I would like it. I would like a little bit more of a structured, you know, schedule, but it's just different things, different, we all do different. So for someone, it's like workaholic, you know, working too much. Maybe you work so that you don't have relationships, or you don't have to be intimate, or you know, it's like, it's always like something for everyone. It's different. So you will have to go through the forest, though. You'll have to go through the dark forest and really stare down these demons and make the changes, to get your will back on track, to align your will with the universal will. For some people, it's ego. For some people, it's substances. For some people, it's hyper-focusing on other people, whatever it happens to be. And it really, if it's difficult to stop stuff, you know, if it's really difficult to stop yourself, you know, one example is, like, one of the reasons why negativity doesn't hit me, it doesn't touch me, it doesn't hurt me, because that's who they are. It's not who I am. Whatever you say about someone else, that's who you are. So, you know, and people have called me and said different things to me, you know, about me, to my face, behind my back, you know, throughout the years. And so, for instance, if it's something physical, if it's some criticism about what I look like, or if it's some criticism about what I say, or if it's some criticism, that's how they treat themselves in their minds. That's how, you know, if someone's, you know, criticizing my body, that tells me that they criticize their body. They think about their body in a judgmental way, and they're looking at all these other people's bodies and having thoughts about them. And and I think to myself, it must be dark living in that mind. You know, that's not a good experience. Just like I don't want to feel my own compulsive feelings, you know, that can't be a good feeling, to live in a mind that is so, you know, judgmental and painful, or to be critical of somebody else's, what they say or how they express themselves. They do not talk to themselves nicely. You know, they're not confident in their own voice, so they don't even know who they are. You know, it's just these different things. So in any points throughout the forest for you guys, this Saturn retrograde, if anything really bothers you, if anything really gets under your skin, pinpoint what it is and then try to see if you see that in yourself. That's like reverse engineering the projection. If something else about someone bothers you, pin it down, like really identify what it is, and then really honestly ask yourself, could I be like that? Could I act that way? Or could I, whatever? Might be surprised. You can do it though over this summer. You can actually get yourself back. Now, for some of you, it's not going to be that deep and serious. And I'm getting that with the Two of Pentacles. For some of you, it really will just be more mundane, where you love your career and you're having so much fun, and you love your spouse and you want to be with them 24/7, and you love your kids and you want to play with them 24/7, and you just have a really full life, and it's just you're trying to do it all, you know, and it's just a lot that you are saying yes to, a lot that you want to juggle, and that your will is driving you to do all of these things. So be careful of burnout. Last but not least, what is that big reversal over this? Okay. Ten of Swords. You have the two tens, and they're the two unsavory of the tens. So this is an end. So the wheel turns again. The wheel of fortune ever turns. It's always turning. But it ends something that you were so worried about. It ends something that you were so stressed about. You're going to get to the other side of this dark enchanted forest, and that experience will be over. It will end. You will move on. The night is darkest just before the dawn, and a new day will dawn, and you will the light will shine into the forest, and it'll look completely different. It'll be so beautiful. It'll be so beautiful. But you have to go to the end of the rope first. You have to meet your fears in order to overcome them and realize that you had nothing to fear ever. You'll have to, over this Saturn retrograde, stare down your demons to understand how truly strong you are. How strong you are. What a message. What a message. Let's get your guidance. Any other guidance for my people? Any other guidance? Okay. Bottom of the... Just like this over here. Bring love into the situation with this Queen of Cups and the Four of Wands. The Queen song. Somebody to love. Need somebody to love. Find me. Sorry, I'm not. We know this already. I can't sing. I have many talents in my life. Very gifted. Well, I guess not many. I'm actually quite concentrated. It's like I can do like a couple things really great, and then everything else, I don't know. I can barely cross the street. So your poppers here, you have a new start is coming. Bring love into the situation. A new start is coming. I cannot tell you how many people have saved me from getting hit by a car. And I mean strangers too. The funniest one of the funniest moments, I was walking across LaSalle in Chicago, going to acting class. And I don't know. I don't even know. I always had a backpack for like most of my life, just wearing a backpack. And out of nowhere, I just felt this hand grab my backpack and just yank me back. And this cab was like, meow. And I'm like, you know, looking around, these two women were like, this woman, the one that grabbed me, she's patting me. She's like patting me on the back. She's like, you all right? I was like, thanks. You know, I didn't even know anyway. So new start is coming, brand new. If you're ever walking around with me, I guess maybe you need to know that. Adjustments are, you may need to be my hero and save me from something. Adjustments are required. Yes, clearly. Oh, yes. Work through your fears. This is the enchanted forest. It's just dark. Don't be, you cannot, this is you overcoming your fear of the dark. I'm getting that, like the darkness, and I'm seeing these orbs, these glowing orbs in the forest, and then they come up. So just remember that you don't have to be afraid of the dark. The light is within. It's the Manly P. Hall quote in every single one of the videos I've ever uploaded to YouTube ever, which is like over 1,000 videos, I think. They wander in darkness seeking light, failing to realize that the light is in the heart of the darkness. There you have it, folks. Working through your fears. You don't have to be afraid of the dark. Nothing to fear. You are the light in the dark. You turn on your own little light, okay, in your heart. You have more. You have a lot, and I'm going to read them to you. Last one. Communication is key. New moon in New moon in Gemini. We're literally on a new moon in Gemini soon. This one favors surrender. Surrender, but communicate. Surrender and communicate. Okay. I love you guys. Take very good care. I will see you next week for your weekly horoscope and taroscope. Until then, my lovelies, many, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful head startings.